Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your ever-loving host, Shotty. Sorry I've not shared this one before I did it. We had some problems with our Facebook thing, but I'm here now. And this is the first actual comic book review I've done in ages, and I do apologise. As I mentioned on another video, we literally had so few new releases coming last week that I was struggling to find anything to review that's new. I should have gone back and I should have looked at some of the early Future State stuff, which I finally got around to reading. But, shoulda, woulda, coulda. But one thing I have noticed, and it's been kind of cool, we've still been getting people like subscribing to our channel. To say it's just me talking to a camera about comic books, that's well cool. What would be even cooler, like super amazing, is if you told everyone how cool we were. Just kidding. I know it's kind of cool that we get people watching it, but if I'm completely honest, I just kind of enjoy reading comic books and I enjoy talking about them. And today, the one we're going to be talking about is Redemption from AWA Studios. AWA is a company which, they're still always going to be referred to as an indie, I think, or small press at least. But they had a lot of clout starting, and they came out the gate running. This wasn't like starting out like really small and eking out like your friends and relatives to throw some money your way and getting like really small time people to come get comic books, putting them out zines in small comic book stores. I mean, they started out in previews. And they started out with like even an offer, sadly only go to US stores, of like $500 worth of $500 worth of credit for AWA Studios. I mean, no small indie can just do that. So referring to them as such, it feels kind of disingenuous, but they still have, at least as far as what they're putting out, very much a small press indie kind of feel, and I like that. It means they get like a few people who create stuff for them well, and they let them go to town on it, and it's creator-owned, usually small miniseries if it successfully carries on. Very much like an Image kind of model, or at least the way Image and other companies work now. And I really like that. This one in particular is Krista Faust and Mike Diodato Jr., including the colorist Lee Luffridge. If those names tied in with AWA sound familiar, then you've obviously read and enjoyed Bad Mother, one of the best reviewed things that AWA have put out. The exact same team coming back had me interested, because I did enjoy Bad Mother, but I didn't put it on my pull list. It's one of those we had 2 copies of it coming straight away. Small local store, we don't get a crap load of comics, I'm afraid. And both of them got claimed fairly quickly. And I wouldn't be all surprised. Mike Diodato Jr. is a really solid artist. At the time, I didn't really know anything about Krista Faust, which is kind of an endemic problem with the industry that female writers tend to linger away somewhere until eventually they do something big enough to get put on a major title. The fact that AWA have, on the back of Bad Mother, seeing how well it's viewed, let her and Mike Diodato run loose with another comic is just another reason why I like them. And this one is, well, I don't want to say it's very different, because Krista Faust is basically trying to do an awful lot of work reinventing how we approach characters within the genre. In this one, it's kind of nice that I've read it and enjoyed it for certain reasons. Then you get to the back and you get like a 2-page spread of just her talking about it, and she tells you what she's trying to do, and it's like, that's why I liked it. And one of the reasons is, it's really common, like almost ubiquitous, that when you're talking about characters in Western movies, the grizzled old gunslinger is a dude. It's just a way of it. I can think of very few movies where it goes slightly differently. Maybe True Grit. I mean, yes, still the grizzled gunslinger, but the female is like just an important character. The Quick and Dead with Sharon Stone, but again, you've got like the 2 grizzled old gunslingers, Gene Hackman in particular. It's a common thing. Even stories which take the Western genre, move it from the Old West. Thinking Logan Ninefingers and the like. You've got a lot of that kind of thing just built into it. But this one, it's all about a woman. LGBTQ woman, in fact, which I think the queer is the word she uses to describe, which was kind of a nice thing, because when you get to the end of the book, that is not something that's ever front and center. You kind of like, if you want to read between the lines, you could kind of take a guess at it, but the creator comes out and said, yeah, this is the character I'm creating, and she does a really, really good job of populating the world with just interesting characters, regardless of anything to do with who they were born to be. Who they actually are is far more interesting, and I really appreciate that. The story itself is very, very cool. It doesn't fall straight into the revenge Western trope, which is kind of nice. I mean, don't love the revenge Western trope, big fan, but it goes a slightly different way, and the opening 3 pages are brutal. I mean, I cannot stress enough that this is not for the children, although, it's got some lessons in there which I think children should learn, but maybe not in this manner. I don't really want to tell you what it is, because honestly, it's the kind of eye-opening thing that just, it sets her like her her stall out very, very clearly about what she's trying to do, and in a way that's just unmistakable. And it carries on in that vein. It's brilliant. We get a little bit of very nice like trope of somebody telling you somebody else's backstory, which is done very cool. Mike Diodato Jr. like jumps at that point. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's great. He knows how to lay out a page, and the colorist really goes in for the browns for the color palette for the Western, which you'd expect. But when you get to the flashback kind of thing, it suddenly grains up a little bit and becomes a very different thing, which I like when anybody does that. I like a good flashback. I like one which has its own sense of time and place, rather than just being part of the ongoing story. Check out Undone by Blood as an example. But this one, it does it in its own way, and it does it very, very interestingly. What's kind of odd for this kind of like brutal Western, there's only a couple of action sequences, very much at the end, and they are amazing. They look absolutely fantastic, and I like the fact that they're kind of rationed. It's not just let's get straight into it. Like there is brutality very, very early on in the comic book, but it's not done as a glorified action sequence. It's not done to be like, hey, isn't it cool that this is all going on? It's actually like, no, this brutality is unforgivable, and we should not be engaging in it in an enjoyable way. And the way it's written and the way it's presented and everything about it really hammers that message home. It is fabulous. Don't mind admitting, when I missed out Bad Mother, I was a little bit cross at myself, so I put myself down for this one straight away. Then literally finding out that it was a Western, I was like, oh, even better. Oh, post-apocalyptic Western. Yes, please. Now, having read it, I am so happy I put myself down for this one. I think if you like any of the kind of stuff that I'm into at the same time, you're probably going to get a kick out of this one. And you should contact your local comic book store or go into League of Comic Geeks, find us, Ka-Pow Comics, and order it through us because we're cool. We rule. Anyway, that's it from me. I'm going to take a bunch of my stuff home, so I might do one tomorrow from my house. So you're probably going to see my dog or a cat turn up. I think it's going to be another Western one, though. So, strap in, guys. Take it easy. I'll see you all later. Bye.